Today I'm with Jo Ryan, a parent consultant from Baby Bliss, and we're talking about how to communicate with your baby. So Jo, is it possible for parents to understand what their baby needs when they cry, or is it all just guesswork?
Well, it is a bit of guesswork, but there are certain things you can pick up on and know what they're trying to communicate to you. Babies have different types of cries, which mean different things. And when they're little, really, the major things that they're crying about are if they're tired, if they're hungry, if they've got a dirty nappy. They're basically the main things. So when your baby is crying, and they do start to cry at about 3 weeks old, you know, and often parents get terrified because you have this baby who's come home from hospital. They've been nice and sleepy, they've slept well, they've been quite drowsy and very peaceful, and parents think they've got the perfect child. And then one day this baby will start to cry and parents will freak out and think, what's wrong and why are they crying and how do I deal with it? For a baby to cry, it's a very normal thing. It's their only way of communicating their frustration or their needs. So the first thing is to not be afraid of a crying baby and to not panic, because a baby will also pick up on your mood and the way you feel. So if a mother is panicked or stressed or anxious, a baby will pick up on that. So I always teach mothers to try not to panic, to be calm, and to just try and think logically about why that baby might be crying. So obvious things, they're due for a feed, so you get them up and you feed them. They're tired, so they've been fed, but they've been awake for about an hour and a half, or maybe a little bit longer than they needed to be, and so they're crying. And the tired cry is really the most distressing cry you can hear, because it's very high pitched and it's kind of a wah, wah, wah cry that doesn't seem to stop. And if you ask parents how long your baby's cried for, often they say, oh, it went on forever and it sounded like 10 minutes, when actually it's only been about a minute at the most. And babies' cries come in cycles. So if your baby is tired and crying like that, you need to really pick them up, wrap them up, take them away from noise, light, stimulation, because often they'll be crying to block out all that stimulation. And they often turn their head away because they're trying to just block out noise, light, everything. So I would suggest that you take them, when they're like that and really distressed, take them into a quiet, darkened room, wrap them up nice and tightly, hold them in your arm and just pat them gently until they go to sleep. Now, that might take a couple of minutes, it might take 15 minutes, it might take 30 minutes. But the key to that is to not panic and to be reassured that it will stop and they will go to sleep if you continue and be consistent with what you're doing. But what happens is often parents panic and they think, oh, it's not working, so I'll put them in the pram and I'll jiggle the pram for a bit. Oh, that's not working, so I'll take them for a walk, or I'll do this. And all that sort of chopping and changing is contributing to their tiredness and their overstimulation, so it's not going to help. So the key is to take them away from the noise, be consistent in your settling technique, don't alter it. It will work if you keep going.
What about for babies who do seriously have something wrong? How can parents tell?
Well, the things to look out for is if your baby is crying most of the day, you know, and there is nothing you can do, like they're not tired because they've been fed, they've not got a dirty nappy, nothing you can do can pacify them, then that's when you need to go and see your doctor and get them to have a look at your baby.
If you have any more questions for Jo, you can contact her on the email address below.